Good evening, everyone. We will begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for the permission and protection granted us while participating today in God's divine plan of constructing paradise on this earth. Let us pray together the Amatsu-Norito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the Miroku Prayer. Please stand. Takahara ni kamsumarimasu. Kamuromi kamuromi no mikoto mojite. Sumemi oya kamui sanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himuka no tachihana no. Odo no ahagi harani misogi harai tamo. Toki ni narimaseru. Harai no kami tachi moro moro no magakoto tsumike bare o. Harai tamae kiyome tamae tomao sukoto no yoshi o. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami ya oyorozu no kami tachi tomoni. Ame no fuchi koma no mimi kuri tatete kikoshi mese to kachikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Oshie mi oya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki ae tamae. Kamagara tamachi haemate. Kamagara tamachi haemate. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified, that filling your truth given to us by Meishu-sama, make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your grace. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
May God and Meishu-sama bless you.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to our reading from Meishu-sama's teaching. Humanity's mission. God gave us life, precious life. Let us respect and treasure it by living in harmony with God's divine law. Every soul is an individual part of God's total self. Let us cleanse our souls and restore them to their divine nature, divine state. One who is aware of how precious and priceless life is realizes God's divine nature within, our true spiritual essence. A human being, often called a child of God, is also referred to as God's temple. This is because a person's soul, the center of his or her being, is an individualized part of God that has come to earth with a mission assigned by God. This soul is also referred to as the primary spirit. After birth, another spirit, which is animalistic in nature, enters the body. It is called secondary spirit. Since the primary spirit is divine in nature, it is the center of spiritual consciousness. The secondary spirit is the exact opposite, the source of all negative ideas. There is yet another spirit in contact with an individual. It is the guardian spirit. In Japan, it is selected from among the individual's ancestors at birth. From the spiritual realm, it protects and guides the person in its charge. The secondary spirit encourages the person to act wrongfully, while the guardian spirit tries to guide the person to do virtuous deeds. But above both of these is the primary spirit, which instructs the person to do only good and virtuous acts. Therefore, it is important to strengthen the power of one's primary spirit. This power is fundamental to the conquering of negativity. Each person should strive always to strengthen their primary spirit. The best way to achieve this is to pray to God and deepen one's faith. This is the only path to attain true happiness.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Miroku Association headquarters evening service. Thank you also for your continuous prayers geared towards world peace, victims of wars, victims of natural disasters, as well as man-made disasters. This evening, the faith experience I want to share with you is from Anete dos Santos Batista from Barra Mansa, Rio de Janeiro. Anete is 61 years old and has been a member for 14 years. Currently, she fulfills her mission as a lay leader, in addition to carrying out various other dedications. For knowing your church, she was a sad and ungrateful person and experienced many family conflicts. During that time, since 1981, she suffered from epilepsy. Whenever there was a family disagreement, Anette would enter into a crisis, experiencing 3 to 4 seizures in a week. She would convulse, struggle, and discharge a lot of frothy secretions from her mouth. High doses of medication were not able to contain her seizures. Working as a statistician in October of 2008, she attended to a client who was a member of our church, who is now in the spiritual realm. She met a minister who started a conversation with her. Annette opened her heart and told her about the traumas she had suffered from epilepsy. When questioned about her family's past, she sorrowfully recounted that in 1977, at the age of 14, she experienced the heartbreaking loss of 3 brothers who drowned in a river. In response, the minister clarified the spiritual cause of suffering and the relationship between ancestors and descendants. She was advised to go to the church to pray for her brothers, as they were likely suffering the spiritual realm and in need of light. Annette followed the recommendation, and the next day she went to the Johrei Center. She was received by a member who prayed with her and channeled Johrei. Soon after, she had the opportunity to talk again with the minister. Annette was advised to receive Johrei daily, which she did for about 4 months. During this period, she significantly improved. She experienced the divine light in her life, and the door to happiness finally opened. She took the membership classes and was granted permission to receive the Ohigari Sacred Focal Point in March of 2009. She requested the Sorei Saishi enshrinement of her ancestors with a special donation of gratitude and began regularly praying for her brothers. Annette attended the Johrei Center at least twice a week. She channeled and received Johrei and dedicated herself at the center's reception. In addition, she provided religious assistance and sought to help anyone whom Meishu-sama put in her path through Johrei. The first 3 years, her epileptic seizures became milder and occurred at great intervals. 2013, they stopped occurring altogether. With this, it was possible to reduce the medication dosage she was taking. Through the practice of faith, Annette became a joyful, grateful person who saw the divine will behind events. With her changing thoughts and attitudes, family conflicts gradually diminished, and harmonious coexistence ensued. Annette is very thankful to God and Meishu-sama, as well as to her ancestors, for the permission to transform her fate and become useful to the divine work. She also thanks the member and minister who led her to the path of happiness, as well as her husband, for the support provided during her crisis. Her goal is to spread our faith to many people, so that along with their ancestors, they can be saved by the light of Meishu-sama. Thank you very much for attending this evening service and for listening to this very powerful faith experience. Wish you all a most wonderful weekend.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you a very blessed evening.